Why is it less believable when a man says he is bisexual than when a woman says it? Female bisexuals are often assumed to be straight women who are doing it for attention. Male bisexuals are often assumed to be gay men who don't want to admit to being gay. Maybe your friend got lucky. But in general, this is something that all bisexuals have to deal with in one way or another. My armchair psychologist theory: bisexual men face two very different sex markets. A bi guy must put in more effort to sleep with a straight woman than the respective effort to sleep with a gay guy. For straight women, this poses a perceived threat because a bi guy could with less effort find another gay or bi guy to have sex with. The barrier to entry to sex is lower for gay men. So since the barrier of entry is lower with a gay man than with straight women, why would the guy spend all that effort to sleep with a woman in the first place? People don't take women's sexuality as seriously as men's. Plus, some men also feel like they get something out of their partner being attracted to women. I've heard bi women often deal with men expecting them to be down for a threesome without question. That kind of thing isn't really appealing to straight women though. From the kinds of jokes I've seen, when a bi woman cheats on her boyfriend with a woman, it doesn't count, but women dating bi men will say things like, "If you cheat on me, it can't be with a man." It's weird. I hate when people demand that someone prove their sexuality. It even happens with us straight men. If you haven't been with a woman by a certain time, usually 15, causes teens are stupid, you get weird looks. I've never been with anyone, and yet I can say definitively that I'm straight. So why should it be different if you're bi? Panic. To find an answer to your question, I assume it's because bisexual women are more accepted because girls kiss hot and whatnot. Men don't really get that luxury. I believe it, but I do think it's more common maybe in the process of men coming out to say they are bi, as if they grew up in a more repressive environment. Patriarchy. Patriarchy is homophobic generally, but especially for men. Policing women's sexuality requires privileging heterosexual men and bullying gay men to degrade them in the eyes of other men. Because Western cultures and others, but since we're speaking in English, let's stick to our own backyards, grew out of patriarchy, and women's liberation has been a cultural phenomenon for decades now. Since the 1960s, women have achieved some more freedom from strict patriarchal norms in wider society. Women wear pants, can enter male-dominated fields without derision, can have short hair, and still be seen as feminine. Don't get me wrong, we still face lots of sexist attacks, but there has been progress. Men can't wear a dress in public the way women wear pants. A man can't put on clothes that are pretty without being attacked by other men. Men who enjoy sexual submission to a dominant female are viewed as weak. Men have a lot of work still to do in attacking toxic masculine norms as a mental prison, and to redefine masculinity to be what makes a man happy in himself. That's how I see things anyway. Patriarchy gives men advantages, but at the cost of policing men, women, and non-binary folk and terrorizing us all into compliance. I disagree. I think it's the opposite. Often people will think bisexual women are just trying to be different, unique, or they had a bad experience with men, so they are claiming to be bi or lesbian. Women's whole thing in our society is to be sexy and desirable. A woman is bi, meaning she started to found other women equals attractive. Seems legit. A man is bi? Why? As a neutral heterosexual man, I would probably be more skeptical towards a woman. If a man said he was bisexual, I would assume he has earned the badge. But I might be more likely to think a woman is talking about some Kinsey scale shit and has never actually had a sexual encounter with a woman. But to be honest, I probably wouldn't think about it too much and would just take people at their word. Bisexual erasure is a big thing from what I can see. Like Freddie Mercury, he tells you straight that he's bisexual, yet people still insist he was saying that because he was a closeted gay man. Perhaps people are harsher on men. Maybe they think that doing anything slightly gay makes you 100 gay after learning this lesson in their school days. So perhaps it's more like we hear a woman say she's bisexual and our cynical part says, "Pa, just a straight woman trying to sound adventurous." And for a man it thinks, "Pa, probably a gay man who isn't out of the closet." But hopefully people don't have a very loud cynical voice. Because everything in this world revolves around men. If you are a bisexual man, everyone thinks you just need some more time to accept you're gay. On the other hand, bisexual women are having hard time getting into queer relationships because a lot of lesbians think they are not serious about their intentions and will settle for a man in the end. And your female bi friends aren't really believed to be bisexual by most men either. Yes, men recognize their same-sex attraction, but do not really respect it and think if a woman already found a good dick, she's not going to swap it for a vag. It's not really a man vs woman thing. In your bubble it seems that way, but bisexual people of all genders aren't always believed and are told they are confused, degenerate, lying, untrustworthy, and other things more often than not. Bi erasure is a pretty big problem. As for your friend, she likely gets more men after her because of threesome fantasies, and a lot of lesbian women want date bi women. It all comes down to the support network you have in your life though. When I came out, I had both acceptance and pushback. Most bisexual men identify as straight and never come out of the closet, so it creates a generalized assumption that since more women are openly bisexual that they must be more naturally fluid in their sexuality than men. The ones who are open are treated similarly to how you are. The premise is bonkers. Women fake being bi for male attention all the time. Guys get shamed as gay if they let on they are bi, which means every guy is believable and women highly doubtful. It's a level of societally ingrained homophobia and misogyny. Bi girlfriend who might think it's hot to bring another girl into the bedroom equals hot fantasy. Who cares if you understand the underlying why? Bi guy still triggers that knee-jerk negative reaction from people who fundamentally can't wrap their head around the concept of somebody liking the same gender as them. If a girl says she's bi, most guys think that's hot, and most girls shrug and go okay. If a guy says he's bi, most girls shrug and go okay, and most guys make fun of them. Yes, even in 2024. About how you don't think a woman would date a bisexual guy. I can only speak for myself, but I don't think it would bother me at all, as long as the dude isn't cheating on me. I don't see how a bi guy would have more baggage than a straight guy. I actually find people accept men being bisexual as opposed to women. I've heard people talk behind their backs. They are accepting to women to their face, but behind their backs there is plenty of talk of disbelief and thinking she is saying it for attention. I've not seen or heard people talk about a bisexual guy behind his back. However, I'm talking from personal experiences. You must be too manly. I have the opposite problem. No one believes I'm straight and thinks I'm either bisexual or androgynous. I just have long hair and groom myself to look clean since I have a lot of overgrown hair everywhere. Men are gross, women are pretty, that's it. Porn and toxic masculinity. Because women get overly sexualized for being bisexual, a lot of men assume this means she's a slut and he's gonna get a threesome. Source: I'm a bisexual woman.